Welcome to myprojectbrowser.com. Our project title is Ensembles of Alphabets for Imbalanced Classification Problems. The main contribution of this paper is to decision tree ensembles for imbalanced classification problems for utilizing properties of alpha divergence. In this, we consider the datasets as MIMIs datasets are for community medical communities. The several datasets UCI and Keels are provided to highlight the effectiveness of the ensembles over a large range of data distribution and of class imbalance. Initially, consider the imbalanced dataset, which datasets are considered some noisy data. For removing the noisy data, the imbalanced datasets are undergoes on the pre-processed data. That after the data are undergone the pre-processing, the pre-processed data are stored in the database. That stored database is classified undergoes on the classifications. The classification problems is including alpha diversification. In alpha diversification, we consider the datasets as similarities based on the information gain calculations. In this information calculation, we find out the similarities or difference between the classes which is unique for the dataset. Based on this alpha diversification, the probability attributes are calculated on the basis of classes. These classes are calculated on the term of datasets. Whatever given in the datasets are ensembles which are imbalanced. That imbalanced datasets are considered as the balanced datasets for further processing. The ordered processes are stored in the file, which is considered in the classification. This is demo of the project. Initially runs the homepage.java. Then choose the file which is used for the datasets. Choose the dataset what is needed for the project. Then the dataset is loaded. The loaded datasets are pre-processed. Then the loaded datasets are pre-processed for the dataset and loaded in the database, which is viewed in the table format. Then the database, the pre-processed data are separated as a classification on the basis of classes and their attributes. Then we select the positive classes as one consideration, another as a negative consideration. These are the two specifications you are identified in the datasets as a unique ID. Then the probability difference of the classes based on their appearance, based on the information gain. These are calculated on this manner. Then these data are loaded in the database and viewed as like that. Similarly, for the negative classes which is specified in the dataset, the probability calculations are calculated on the basis of the attributes on the classes unique identity of the variables declared in the dataset, which is showed as like databases. In databases, the classifications are loaded in the imbalanced dataset as what we needed in the datasets. The datasets considering the imbalanced dataset which are pre-processed, then we identified the noisy data. Initially we calculated the data as alpha is n as the consideration. For this we calculated the even class which are the data for alpha is equal to 1 considering. When considering alpha is equal to 1, the data are alpha is equal to 1 variables, we can calculate the following data. the following data are loaded into the databases, which is similar for the another class specification class. For similar to the alpha calculation class is equal to negative, we considering alpha is equal to n diversification, we calculated the values for the negative class, which is inserted into the data, then loaded into the databases. These are the data which is calculated for the alpha diversification. Initially we considered the imbalanced data set and calculated the n diversification. For initially first we considered alpha is equal to n, then we considered alpha is equal to n values. What are the difference between the alpha is equal to n and between alpha is equal to 1? After balancing the data, we have the data like initially we have the enormous large size of data sets. After the n diversification, we calculated the equal theta. The imbalanced classifications are identified using the dataset and the class specified in the dataset. The overall performance of the classification problem is the imbalanced datasets are calculating the values as initially dataset and dataset. Why is it? Based on this, the classes are splitting their values in the balanced form. Thank you.